Okay, speaking of things that are different than the rest of the series.
And now we're glad we have Jacob on.
Yeah,
that was my reaction when Dari texted me saying you're coming. It's like, oh, thank goodness you're here.
It would have been again like me and Jeff are just like, here's a very like not that great Yakuza discussion.
Yep, this comes from Let's Judge from IGN. Sega has officially unveiled the next chapter in the Yakuza series, which takes combat in a different direction to its predecessors. Its Japanese title is Ryoga Gotoku 7 Whereabouts of Light and Darkness, though its name in the West will be Yakuza Like a Dragon.
That's also perfect. A name. That is such a good, like a Dragon just sounds so good.
Perfect.
Driving both the subtitle and, more notably, the number from the title, is headlined by an all-new main character, Ichiban Kasuga, but the biggest shakeup is his approach to how fighting plays out. The brawling action of past games is being swapped out for turn-based combat. Gamatsu has translated the Japanese press release, which describes how the game uses a live command RPG battle system that combines the series' signature action with an RPG-style command system, and is a voluntary system in which anyone can easily enjoy exhilarating battles. In this completely new battle system, Ichiban Kasuga and his party will fight by selecting techniques with various effects such as attack, recovery, support, and more. Yakuza 7 will launch on PS4 in Japan on January 16, 2020, with a release in the West slated for later in the year. It will be playable at Tokyo Game Show next month.
Jacob.
This month.
Boy, I have some thoughts on this.
I figured you would.
Man, I feel like I've gone through like the 5 stages of grief
really?
with this announcement. Yeah, it's such a weird change, because usually games are going from turn-based to more of an action direction, but now we have an action game going to a turn-based direction.
I don't know. I'm surprised by this energy, Jacob.
I do like the gameplay, the brawler kind of gameplay in Yakuza a lot. So it is kind of a weird feeling knowing that will not be the case, that it will be turn-based. Apparently, they were really inspired by Dragon Quest in this decision.
Even dropped the trailer.
Yeah. The main character loves Dragon Quest.
Yeah, which is really funny.
It's really funny. There was an announcement later where one of the game designers kind of tweeted some more information about the gameplay. He was speaking about how, the environment and how you approach, because how like in a JRPG when you run up to a character and it kind of goes into like the battle zone. Mm-hmm. He was saying how like the way you approach a character will affect how the battle is set up, and you can interact with objects in the battle arena, when you're in the turn-based style.
Yeah.
So it seems like they are going in, not quite a by-the-numbers turn-based JRPG style.
It's kind of like in Dragon Quest XI, what you're saying, where you can move around, but you actually can interact with things.
Yes.
And it's not like a visual thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, have you seen the gameplay, like the video? From
the April Fool's thing.
Yeah,
it was real.
Yeah, that was real. Yeah, that was another thing that they.
I find it funny because a lot of people did say this is a lot of effort for an April Fool's joke. What's going on?
Yeah. I'm glad that people pointed that out.
But I mean, honestly, this is something like my opinion doesn't matter as much as Jacob's. Jacob's played all the Yakuza games, but
or does it, because it might something to get people who aren't already as,
or at least matters more for what I'm about to say. But like for me, it just seems like from the outside looking in, this is a series that has gotten a lot of time, a lot of love, like 9 games or whatever it is with the PSP games and all that, or whatever. It just seems like I feel like. It's kind of cool to see them experimenting.
Definitely.
And especially because Yakuza just has so much character and so much personality and everything. It's kind of cool to see their take on something else. And on top of that, when I watched that gameplay thing, like, it looks like Yakuza. Like, it is a turn-based thing or whatever, but like it looked like you were making choices in the turn-based thing or whatever, but what you were looking at on the screen looked like a Yakuza brawl and everything. Like, it had... Every character was like wacky, had crazy moves and everything. Like, I really don't think this is just gonna be we go into a battle screen, like you said, a by the numbers JRPG. Like, I think it's gonna have a cool Yakuza spin on it.
Yeah, I'm certain that the vibe, like the feeling of Yakuza, is gonna be there. I think for myself and a lot of other fans is that we have not seen their approach to a turn-based type of gameplay in any stretch, and so there's just a lot of unknowns, and they know how to do this brawler action kind of gameplay, and I think that they do it quite well. The thing is with the Yakuza studio and their franchises, they iterate on stuff over a lot of games, and so one, it is kind of disheartening with how good Judgment played to not see that improved and refined even more on this next game. And also, the Yakuza games have a lot of, side gameplay and activities that you can do. And admittedly, like, they are fun and they're novel, but they're not like the most polished type of, mechanics. And so I'm just like worried as like, how polished is this turn-based RPG going to be? Because, I like a lot of turn-based RPGs, but admittedly, there are a lot of boring turn-based RPGs.
Certainly.
And, you can make the argument that, like, the Yakuza series, the gameplay can get a little mashy, and, but I always had fun varying up my combos and just trying to style on dudes. And I don't really see how I can do that in a turn-based RPG, where I'm sitting in a battle for 5 minutes instead of, like, kicking a guy up and down the street for, like, 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then moving on.
I mean, I also just think I'm just a little bit different of a gamer too, just in my taste, because it's also like, even from the like 7 to 10 hours I played of Yakuza 0, I'm enjoying it, but the thought of playing like 10 games or whatever it is in that style is a little exhausting to me. Just the beat 'em up, every fight in Yakuza kind of feels the same to me. I mean, like, it looks cool and you like can do different combos and everything, but to me that gets tiring so much more than like what looks like a potentially kind of innovative turn-based style. Like, but that's just my preferences. I'm not a very big beat 'em up fan. I'm playing Yakuza because I think it's goofy and funny and great. Right. But for me, like, that style of gameplay just drags on me after a while. This is part of the reason why I didn't love Spider-Man's combat, but I loved it because of the story. I just don't like the running to this section, beat up a bunch of dudes, run to this section, beat up a bunch of dudes.
Yeah. I don't know if we saw this, but they said straight up, like, if it doesn't sell well or whatever, that they'll go back.
And that worries me too, because if they're gonna have this dramatic shift in genre, then they need to commit to it, and I don't want them to, like, have it kind of be half baked and be like, oh, it didn't work out, so we're gonna go back to what we've always been doing.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of mixed feelings, and I think, like Darby said, depending on what type of gameplay you prefer, if you're more of an action person or more of a turn-based person, that this game might appeal to you in different ways.
Well, depending, let's say the turn-based thing is great and it's the seeds, blah 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 blah. What they could do going forward is have Yakuza continues with the turn-based thing, or maybe doing the style. Judgment's the more of the old school Yakuza thing where it's gonna have the beat 'em up thing.
Yeah.
I think also what might help with the whole turn-based thing for Yakuza 7 is the fact that it is a different main character, and it seems like it is kind of separate compared to the other Yakuza games, so it's not going to be as big a thing, or it won't be as weird as being Kiryu and then suddenly doing the beat 'em up continuous story, and now suddenly it's turn-based.
Yeah, I mean,
you used to style on a fools, and suddenly it's like,
yeah, like, if you're gonna do,
but it's also, I don't think it's gonna be like that. That's kind of my point. Is I don't think it's going to be your traditional JRPG. I'm just sitting here waiting or whatever. I think it's going to be a lot more fluid. Like, when you were looking at that gameplay video, it looks like Yakuza. I mean, it doesn't look like, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, we need to see gameplay,
which we will this month.
Yeah. So, again, I am cautiously, interested and hopeful for this, but again, I'm very, for me, I hope with, like, Sega, owning, I think, Atlas, that hopefully a lot of Atlas folks kind of helped out on this.
True.
Because I like it when turn-based RPGs are snappy and quick, and,
that'd be huge if they announced that at Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, we had our friends at Atlas help out with this.
I mean, I definitely hope so. It's just,
I just kind of feel like Yakuza's just world is just so interesting, and again, like I said, it's so unique and has such a character to it, and they've been doing it for so long. It seems like there's so many games in this. I would just love to see their take on a lot of different things. I would kind of like to see, we're in this world, but I mean, like Judgment maybe could have been, but it sounds like the detective aspects of that weren't great. But like, trying other things. I mean, and maybe that's points against like why you should be skeptical, which I mean, I think skepticism is fine. This might crash and burn.
Yeah.
But I am super interested to see, like, I would love if they did other spin-offs that was like, now we're going to do, I don't even know what the hell. Racing game? Like, I don't know. We're going to do something else.
I got two things. One,
cool.
during the adjustment, I need to ask Jacob. Jacob, was there an Ace Attorney reference?
Oh, boy, there was there.
Good. I can sleep soundly at night.
Yeah.
Second, this will only make sense or matter to no one else probably listening to this podcast, but I like how, based on what I've seen, Yakuza is going to a turn-based, and Soccer Wars, another Sega IP, is going to like a more action-style thing. It's weird.
It is. I will say, like, I don't really see how turning Yakuza into a turn-based JRPG makes it sell more. I don't think it does.
Yeah.
Like that, it interests me more, but I don't think it. I don't see how that makes like people excited, like a mass of people excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
It might help Japan.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people ragging on this, and I don't think that's the right approach to it.
They rag on everything.
Because some people don't like change, and I definitely do want change. This is just a very weird kind of curveball. So I guess it remains to be seen.
That's part of why I love it. Like that's part of why I'm very interested.
So I guess it remains to be seen, like how this pans out, how the gameplay is. So I have my eyes on this for sure. But I think still a part of me will be just a tiny bit sad that I don't get to, throw trash cans at people.
But I think you will.
Yeah. I mean, from a menu, though. Yeah. I don't know.
It's just funny that we're having a Yakuza discussion where I'm sitting here defending the Yakuza game against Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still definitely interested. And I really hope that it is more than just, clicking the menus and pressing the attack and healing. And, I hope it is innovative in a very interesting way that hasn't been done in a lot of other RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, but you can have a lot of strategy involved. Like, it's a different type of thing. It's obviously not the same thing, but I don't know. I just like the strategy that comes in good turn-based games.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. A lot of, again, with my experience with the studio, it's just in their games. It's just like I don't know how innovative they're willing to take it, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So I guess
I think it's very risky and very experimental.
Yeah, I think
could
it's
go wrong, but it also could be really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of risky and experimental,